Welcome back everyone. Here we are through 8 days of building on our Magic Shop mini dollhouse build. The steps have seemed to have stabilized our little curved staircase. I'm particularly pleased with how that all went together. Really interested in seeing where we install it and how that's going to look. But I still think the pièce de résistance is my little room here. I'm still very thrilled with how well that looks when it came together. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures and how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just trying to have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, we're just building silly little models and having a bit of fun. If you've seen any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add on to my list. And I've got the most intelligent audience on YouTube because y'all provide me with nothing but the best options to build. That being said, we're ready to move on to building our little Magic Shop front sign deal. I think shouldn't be much drama because I think all the drama was in these pieces. There's a couple of lanterns to build and, like I say, our little sign. But starting off, we go, let's see, of course I'm going to go off script and do it a little out of order, I think. They're saying put the signs on the pieces, then put the pieces on the frame. I'm going to put the pieces on the frame, then put the signs on the pieces on the frame. Just because I'm feeling a little rebellious, maybe. I don't know. But basically, we take the thin ones. Now, this is the top of the sign. That's the bottom of our. I saw the sign, the front of our shop. And you're supposed to go on here and here. Got a nice bit of surface area to glue it to. Like I said, I don't know why they didn't give us pieces like this for those big ones. That would have made life so much easier. But they didn't. But anyway, I can whine about that as long as I want to, I guess. But get my old super glue out and get the glue tips of precision installed. And I'm just going to go 2 or 3 dots. Maybe 4 or 5 dots. That's pretty good. Got a good surface area to work with there. Once I get it to come out the end. Okay, I'll do 6. And it looks like we're going flush with the back line here, with the back of our. So just chew up, not like that. Get a thick piece here to line it up against. Of course, I got my. Okay. This didn't go well. Okay, I think that's pretty close. Looks all right on there to me. A little pressure and. What I forgot to do was take the edge off right to there. So I couldn't get it flush against that thing. This one will work like that. Actually, it looks like something's. It should be okay. Okay, so repeat that hopefully without the trouble of getting it lined up. I'm 7 on you just because I'm. Let me get that edge lined up. Looks pretty good side to side. Just pressure. Yeah, I think it stayed lined up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. A little more pressure, just a few seconds. Okay. This little guy is supposed to go between them, and I thought, okay, now I realize, oh no, it's gonna There's gonna be a little gap there, but hopefully, I think which one goes? Those go on the wraparound, so this goes on the fill upper gap. Gonna be close. It's gonna have a little gap on either side, but I think within tolerance, like I keep saying on this one. So now, okay. I don't know why I wasn't using this on the other pieces, but nice, good straight edge there, and this. These tiny pieces are hard. Maybe I should have done this one first. Put you in. You only fit in there. Okay, a smaller piece. Okay, so I think I can get it pushed down and back. Whoop. Okay. Get that in. Okay. Okay, so that's not. Just need like 2 more sets of hands. Okay, so yes, I can see it's rising up as I give it pressure here, so that's. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to use that. Maybe I could do 2 of these. Okay, so okay, so 2 of these little guys, maybe. And still got a little room. Yeah, I think I can do it with that. Get it. You can just barely see it there. So, okay. That's my plan now anyway, so I can get this out. Up against there. Get a little bit along my edge here. Eventually. And turn the other side, right side up here. Down. Should be fairly square when it's all said and done. Seems like it. And a little off center there, got a pretty gap there, but I think I can maybe slide my sign over as I'm doing it to get my, yeah. Now this is this can go on here like at the top. So that'll also be another. Yeah, if I want to match it up, just do that with it. So I've got when the time comes. Okay, so that's gonna work. Okay, but first things first. Find out how bad a decision it was to do this before I did to do it out of their to ignore their instructions, basically. Okay, get a couple of dots. Start in the middle, I believe. So I got my gap on this side there, so I sort of want to try and favor that, I think. Okay. That part worked okay. Now, but I think the tricky part's going to be getting the curve in here. Where the gap actually might come in handy. But who knows? We'll find out together here. Okay, so this. gonna put a drop on the end here and try and anchor it on the inside, and then I'll wrap it around to the outside to glue it down. Just work my way along. It's sort of my intention, I think. Okay, a little dot there. Get you in there. It's paper on paper, so it shouldn't take much pressure against it. That grips the hard part. Of course, got that corrugated stuff, so the surface area might be a little bit of an issue too. Get it? Okay. I think I got you anchored in. So I'm just going to wrap you around like so. Just okay. It doesn't matter. Top and bottom doesn't matter because we can flip it however we need to once we put that on there. I just think this might have supposed to have been the top. No, this is how they got it in the book. Okay. Mild moment of panic here. Okay, since I got the corrugations going up and down on there, I think I'm just going to do a line. Try and do a fairly steady line across so it'll just maybe hit the top parts. Hopefully get that situated so you can sort of see the reflection there of it. So just wrap it around. Down here and hope the glue connects everywhere. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Not too bad. Fairly pleased with that. Okay. Looks pretty good. I think much better than the last time I tried to do something like this. And same thing over here. Just start on the inside and wrap myself around. Sort of the same thing. Got the corrugations. I'm gonna do a fairly good lengthwise, I think. I don't have as much gap over here, but I think it'll still, yeah, slid right in between them. Actually, I'm gonna do you on around like so. That worked last time, so let's try this nice little line technique again here. Around. Here we go. Now, pop our top on here, which I think I decided, you know what, might actually just stand it up and bring it together. That should give us a good, reasonably flush back. But I do think now with that flat. Okay, so can I get a little? I think I'm having to push down. What is there any? What's that? Something sticking out at the edge here. Hang on, let me make sure I got. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's sort of. That's where I want it to be, and it's want to stay like that. So I've got to. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to go with B7000 on this one because of the gap. And this make it a little bit easier to fill it in. And I can clamp that in place once I get it where I like it, I hope. So just a real light bead. Still pretty thick bead for stuff this size. These all the way around. More through there, I think. There. Over. Okay. That suits me. Let me throw some clamps on here. Alright, they're holding them in place. So that's looking good to me. A little, not perfect, but I think it creates the illusion. Alright, so I'll set you aside and let you set up. And actually we're done with these, the deeper ones, because I put those back in my tray of tiny pieces. And we need that piece to make our little lanterns. I think, well, we could make them up first, then install them. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Yeah, we can do that still. Let me grab my tray of tiny pieces, my little assembly platform. Because this guy goes on the bottom with the smooth part up. We get our lens on top of that. And this little bead doodad goes all the way down through there, and then everything onto there. So that means dot B7, couple of dots B7000. Pop you guys into that. And I think I'm going to stop there because I'm going to need the glue to set up on those before I start manipulating them for a minute or two. So I'm going to let that do that. And I'll come back to that in a second. In the meantime, I'm going to skip around on the instructions a little bit because I just really want to build some walls more than anything. I think we are supposed to start building the wall now, but then it has to go back to other things. So I'm gonna build all the walls and sort of hopefully get us a little bit of a form together. Is my plan for tonight. Okay, so this is where we want to be with it. So got a paper to glue on, so that means more B7000. I prefer using the dot method. I don't know if that's an approved method or not. That's just the way I like to do it. Seems to let me get out enough glue without overdoing it. Make sure we get good around all the holes and fill in the middle randomly. Around on that side. Just to line up. That big a surface area, I'm going to bring out my little squeegee. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. Or hopefully nice and smooth. Feels pretty good. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I need on that one. Then our side panel, interior. Up here, looks like it's got a little gap there. We got notch up there, and of course our windows. I'm pretty sure they're windows anyway. Just barely touching the bottom here, so I'm just going to put a couple of dots right there close by. Then a little bit closer to the edge, maybe there, and maybe a few dots right on the edge there. Notch lined up. Those look good. Okay. Some of these big gaps in it should still be okay with the squeegee. Nope, it was not. Forgot about that little bitty chunk down there. Reattach you fairly close, maybe. Hopefully that's going to be below the floor line. Oops. Okay, I'll have to remember that on the other side. Okay, that one. And we get to actually go to one of the printed on sides. No notch on this one, so it should be easier to line up. Looks pretty good. Try not to tear this one up. Pretty close on the edges, I think. Should be good. I'll stay away from the squeegee on this one. Okay. Now, oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta get my lights out, test them out. We're gonna actually start installing pieces of them now. Okay, so we're supposed to have 6 lights here. I hadn't even touched these yet, so. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, got them. Sort of extra long string for a model this small. And we got to get our batteries in. Circle is off, so and we got to figure out which one is positive, negative, because they don't even pretend to mark these. are exposed on the ends. That's a twist as we pull the insulation off. Oh. And low voltage, so I'm just gonna nothing like that. So on the gray. Yep. Contact. Okay, add a soft flash. Okay, so that's light. So let me. This one with the marker, so I know that's the gray. Goes to the darker side. Alright. I don't think we're going to need that anymore. But we did all that. So make another piece of floor, and then we'll go back and do our lanterns. And then maybe we'll build a wall. Okay, so I need 2 of these little black guys. Okay. Flooring. Actually, 3 little black guys. Need 1 more. And okay. I was wondering what these things were. This is shades to make sure the lights don't shine through the floor, because the lights get mounted inside these 2 notches. Okay, that makes some sense. I was, if they were reflectors, they should have been white. But yeah, these just go under here, then we put the floor on top of it so it doesn't shine through. Okay, now it makes sense. Let's do. Dots around each side. We're going to put another, I said we're about to put the floor on the tile or whatever on top of it, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. Let's just, let's say, block that out. And I just put it on the wrong side because this little notch is supposed to be over here. Got a moth. I think. Yeah. Okay, so the moth has trapped itself in the corner, it sounds like over there. Okay, can I cut around it? Glued course spread. Okay. It's just beating the fire out of itself over there. I don't know if it's picking up on mic. Let me go see if I can get that guy outside again. Okay, I think he left. But while I was also doing there, I got an extra piece of that black paper, so don't have to try and reuse that tiny piece. Which is a good thing because I've already lost it. Okay, so now, let's see. Tiny notch over here. Now let's put this in. Outside of putting it on the wrong side, I was pleased with how it worked there. So, sort of thing. Whenever you get the glue to come out. There you go. Okay. Now for the bigger piece, I'm going to go back to the B7000. You can tell it's on the right side because there's also a notch here for it. That's what I'm really wanting to pay attention to because I'm sure there's some reason I need to have clearance there. That seems to be lined up pretty well. I'm sort of gun shy about the squeegee at this point, so I'm probably going to just use my fingers for right now. Okay, so that. Nope, I need one more. Get one over, same thing, make sure I've got it on the right side this time. Slant going that way. Yep, okay, so this is the correct orientation for it. Okay. Little room on that one. I guess I'm being greedy trying to do two at once. I don't know what got a hold of me. And this piece over the top. Plenty of, like so. Okay, now that's done, and as promised, it's time to do some lamp adding. And let's see here. Okay, so, oops, I saw my nozzle of precision has been contaminated with that. It's got a vapor lock in there. Okay, that's gonna be, but it's gonna be a mess when I pop this out. So that's is a new, oops, hasn't happened before. I think I'm just going to call it on that one and get a new nozzle. Okay, I think I think it literally it did get paper locked. I think I got a little air in the line and it jammed everything. So I'm sure I'm gonna have more uses for tonight. So I'm gonna have one ready to go. Okay, but back to where I was. Okay, so 6, which is where we're starting at, is the one next to the wires, and that goes, okay, so the wires go, this goes in here, and the wires go straight back, it says. So, sunk in there, wires back, so, of course that's, get a little more use of my new fangled hot glue gun. That's like 15 seconds supposedly, and it turns blue and it's good to go. Exciting. There we go. And I think I'll just start a little bit down into my little down there and just plop you in. Maybe a little bit right here to hold those wires in place. Swirl around, get good coverage on. And then the next one goes in here, so we're supposed to do like a little zigzag dealio. Make it fit, like so. Actually, that seemed to work on the first one, so let's put it down in there, just squish you in, then we'll have the zigzag later. Zigzag shaking here, just do an extra square. Okay, fairly neat for me on this thing. Okay, so now, and then this is supposed to go up, right up straight to that notch. Get you. Little strings out of the way here. Okay. And what am I doing next? Okay. Oh, okay. Before I go any further, we're supposed to got some frosted paper. Like this goes on there. So I tried to cut it out beforehand, but it was just cooperating with me, so I just had to glue it down. So let's tiny scissors go? Central notch out here. Side. And then that last cut's going to be a job for the old X-Acto knife. Okay. Now, your part. Oh, where's that? Oh, that's. Okay, is this sticky on there? It is not sticky on there. I'm not sure what that's for. Because we were supposed to be getting the. It's frosted, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be fuzzy when you put it on. That goes on there. I guess sort of cover up our wiring. I think it may not have any other purpose. I thought it was because those lights are back there. It's not going to be fusing. Okay. So yes, I'm a little confused by this one, but I'll continue on the way. Go around the edges again. Probably need to do it on top of the wires too, because that's going to be the raised up part. And I got a shiny side and a flat side, and it doesn't say. I'm going to just flat side out. I'm not sure. Okay, just out of curiosity, since we're here, that's really going to dim those lights. Maybe the effect will work in the end, but I'm just sort of not sure about that part. Like I say, we shall persevere. Okay, now this guy. Okay, so that was 6.5, so this is 4. Goes in to this one. Just turned the glue gun off, but it shouldn't take too long to heat back up since I just did it. Yeah, so you, and it doesn't. Okay. Alright, I think I see. Okay, so we're going. This guy goes in here and just straight shot up. It says 1.2 centimeters. I'm assuming it matches up with that notch that we can't see over there anymore. And I hope I get close enough for it, because that's going to be, yeah. Okay, found a downside of this glue gun. The old Gorilla Glue one didn't do that. It had the low power setting, so it didn't drain everywhere on top of everything. Okay, so let's push in. I'm still not sure about that. This stuff. It just doesn't look that good to me. Maybe once the glue dries, and the glue does dry clear, so maybe that'll help once it gets done. But this is a new one to me. I mean, I've had stuff do diffusing before, but never in concentrated areas like that. It's usually to spread out the light, not block it. Okay. But let's see here. I can get some of that off of the end there. Yeah. Just roll you down a little bit. Okay. Let's go. A little kink out of there, maybe. Next one, sort of the same thing, but next light goes in there. Do us a zigzag. And you're actually supposed the wire is supposed to work back around this way. That's different. Okay. Awful lot of wire to do a zigzag right there, so I'm just going to do a loop-de-loop. Okay, I do want to keep it one level, so let me. Let's see if I can. Okay. About like that, I believe. Okay, I'll start on the bottom because I gotta keep you away from the edge. Okay, I was hoping to get to walls tonight. I got sidetracked with floors because I thought this would be easy. I've still got lanterns to make. But actually, and the other thing is, get done with this and we're just going to walk away from them again. So that's sort of the confusing part of sets like this. They just sort of randomly building pieces and then you don't use them for 3 or 4 pages. Okay. Now it says 1 centimeter over, and I got a new toy. Let's see here. Okay, so that's a centimeter right there. The wire is supposed to come out. There. Around out like so. Definitely missing the low power setting of the other glue gun. Getting a lot of extra glue on here. Okay. We're supposed to cut that stencil out, but I'm going to let that weight. Because I'm still not sold on this. How does that look compared to the, let me turn on these lights and compare the one versus A versus B. Not a huge difference. I guess that's, and I got some bumps here I need to get rid of too on the glue. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to sleep on that where I actually want to put that other piece on. So yeah, I'm going to let you sort of set you aside, and I'm not sure it's worth the effort. But now I'm going to put some walls together. We got several of them now, so let's. There's our main floor, back wall, and the side walls. And they say this on first, then the sides, but y'all know me, I'm a rebel. I'm going to do the sides first, then use the slide this in the middle. So which one's which? So okay, the textured one obviously goes on the outside, so it goes here. And it doesn't tell us. Okay, but I do need to make sure I'm getting it here in. Okay, so looks like. Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to do. Have to make this. The problem with this is, if you don't get it perfectly square, that's going to throw everything off. And I can get these square fairly easily with my little doodad. So it's sort of a catch-22. Not me. I can't. It doesn't tell you whether it's going. Okay, I found a picture of the bottom. And these. Okay, so it goes outside, which makes sense because you got this texture on the outside. Wouldn't want to have that showing along the edge. Okay. Yep. Okay, so you in here. Maybe. Tell you what, maybe I'll do. I'll put this side on, then I'll put the floor in, then I'll put the other side on. And that should line everything up nice and neat. Okay, that is the plan. So get out the get the nozzle position out, ready to roll. Go on this side. Not primed. Trying to avoid that vapor-like situation again. I know I've said it before, but I can't believe I just had these things sitting around for months and not even thought to use them like this. These have been a real game changer as far as one of the most useful tools I've come across. And I just did it wrong again. Every time I wipe that off. Okay. Glue's got to go on that side. Okay, try again. And that is bottom. Yeah, okay. Okay, get you nice and square. Actually, yeah. go. You in. Everything seems to be cooperating. And motor surface area, giving it 3 or 4 seconds here. Okay. There we go. Nice edge there. This. And supposed to be flush with the bottom of the window, maybe? I think so. I think it's supposed to go in like that. It feels. That goes on the inside. I think I am going to do both sides first, then slide the bottom in, because I'm still worried about not getting something off on this side. Or if I have windows on both sides, I can line it up. Yeah, so now gotta remember to put the glue on this piece. We'll go here and bring this one in here. Okay, yeah. Pressure on this edge without breaking off my outside wall. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. Nice and snug in the corner, flat on the bottom. Likewise. I think it's going to lock back in place. Right. A little wobbly. Okay. All right. That's a little wobbly because I broke it free there. Swap you around. Looks like you. In those window seals to line up with and push against. So that's going to be you can't see. Okay, so just no. Okay, so let's do no that side and on that side. Just back edge there. And let's see if we can't get you to cooperate. Pressure from all 3 sides, all 4 sides, I guess. a good seal. Got our, nothing's cut off on that holes, those holes. All right. Not perfect, got a little lip right there, but this side's actually pretty flush, so I'm good, yeah. All right. Now, one last bit. This thing should be thoroughly ready to be let go now, and I guess some lanterns assembled here, maybe. I'll probably install them tomorrow. Won't try and do it all at once. So, like I said, just the crystal or the lens, and that's going to be the topper. And just plop them on top of those guys. So I'm going to drop there. And get a little drop inside. That needle situation there, and just that one's not super stable. I'm surprised. Let's see if this is any better shape. Yeah, that one seems like it's a little more. I must not got enough glue on that first one. Ooh. One through there, and then just on the top. Alright. And like I say, these get hung underneath the bottom here of our the front of our shop. But we'll do that first thing tomorrow. Meantime, I'll set them aside. Or maybe I won't knock them over while I'm messing around here. Got those floors in. I might sleep on, decide if I'm going to do on that. But like I say, I'm glad to actually have some walls up. And no extra long video again. These sets are just sort of lend themselves to that. The progress is so slow. But it's coming to, like I say, we're getting there now. Like I say, we'll get my quarter for scale out, I guess. All the other coins too. There's the quarter, American penny, British penny, and a euro. So that's the. I'll say this is going to be a teeny tiny thing with a lot of details in it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all comes together in the end. But get our magic shop sign up. That's over an hour's worth of work there, I guess, plus the floors. So we've done that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another, stay safe, and click on the link. There's my channel up there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where I do experiments a couple times a month. That's what YouTube thinks you should be watching, and that is a playlist for this build. I'll see you tomorrow.